Well, here we are, guys. It is officially November 8th of 2016, so today is the official main day of voting in the United States. You can vote for the Democratic nominee or stolen nominee Hillary Clinton or the Republican nominee Donald Trump. Now, I unfortunately was so busy to the point where I did not get to do a review of any of the debates, so I'm just getting around to them now. I'm going to make a whole lot of election related videos here on this channel under the title Political Pondering. So if you find this video interesting, you can go to my channel and find a whole bunch, all sorts of videos related to Donald Trump, the other candidates, whatever, all that political stuff, and you can share it with your friends or whatever. Just spread all the news. Very important because today is the official election day. So this is going to be a review of the first presidential debate, which was on September 26th and was hosted by Lester Holt. This was a pretty interesting debate. Everybody was hyped up for this one. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were pretty good sports at the beginning. They shook each other's hands, which you do not see in the later debates. Now, I'm not going to dumb down every little point of what they did in the debate. I'm just going to point out some main things that I found interesting or ridiculous about the debates. And right off the bat, they talk about the economy and what they want to do in terms of the American people's finances and how they're going to help them with jobs and whatnot. And Hillary Clinton claimed to be for the people and not the 1%, and how that's how the economy should work. It should be the people and not just the people at the very top, which is interesting because she is very much for the people at the 1% mark. She has the pharmaceutical companies behind her, or big pharma as people like to call it, Wall Street, the military industrial complex, all the big corporations. In fact, there were actually some leaks, I believe, where they actually said that Hillary Clinton was planning, before she had Tim Kaine as her VP, she was going to have, or she was like pondering with the idea of having a business owner or CEO as a VP, which makes sense. She is a huge corporatist. And another thing that I found interesting is that Trump starts his whole part of the debate by blaming other countries for bad trade deals. So he starts going on about how Mexico and China has ruined the economy, all that basic stuff. I really think Trump should have tried to focus on other things because a lot of his campaign was too focused around bad trade deals. I think he would have done better had he focused more on foreign policy and all that stuff as opposed to trade and whatnot. Now, Hillary blames the 2008 recession on tax cuts and the rich, which is true. Trickle-down economics was a big factor in the 2008 recession, but one thing that should be noted is that Wall Street had a huge play in this. Now, in the late 90s or in the mid 90s, when Bill Clinton was the president of the United States, he repealed Glass-Steagall. That literally deregulated Wall Street and allowed them to do the gambling with the American people's money and allowed them to do all the, the illegal activities, and that's what really built up and caused the bubble, which eventually popped in 2008. So yes, it is true that the trickle-down economics under George W. Bush was a huge factor in the recession, but she should have, or at least Trump should have, pointed out that Bill Clinton repealing Glass-Steagall was a huge factor in that as well. Now, this was around the time where Trump was being accused of not paying his taxes and all that stuff. He wasn't releasing his tax returns or whatever. And Trump essentially said that not paying taxes was smart. Now, ironically, saying that was not a smart idea. Now, he did mention that he would, well, essentially he turned around and said how Clinton, since she was in the Senate, she should have fought for, changing the laws so that way people couldn't use the loopholes that Trump was using. That's a good idea, but he shouldn't have made that statement about how not paying his taxes was smart. That was not a good idea. Now, Hillary Clinton brought up the concept that minorities are having trouble living in the American society, how, they're downtrodden and everything's just not working for them, which is pretty interesting, seeing as how way back in her career she referred to African Americans as super predators. She essentially dehumanized them and said that they needed to be brought to heel. She basically compared African Americans, young African Americans, to dogs, essentially, not humans. They were these predators. And of course, under Bill Clinton, there was the crime bill, which unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, targeted minorities. So that was not a very good idea. I know a lot of people would say, Bill Clinton's not running for president. You should only focus on what Hillary Clinton did, not on Bill. I disagree because those same people are bashing Trump whenever his kids or Melania steals a speech from Michelle Obama. So if we're going to be fair, we're going to point out what Bill Clinton did and hold it to Hillary Clinton. Now, one interesting thing is that Trump was sniffling a lot during the debate. I found that pretty interesting, and I thought he was just trying to breathe. Like he couldn't talk a whole lot without sniffling. But then I thought to myself, well, he's able to do all these other rallies and stuff, so why is he sniffling now? Maybe he was panicking. But a lot of people have theorized that he was doing cocaine before the debate, and he was drinking a lot. What are my thoughts on the idea that he did cocaine, or allegedly did cocaine? Well, I'm pretty libertarian on the idea of drug legalization. So, I would be angry at him in the sense that it's illegal and you shouldn't be doing something that's illegal, but I wouldn't consider it cheating. I wouldn't necessarily consider it cheating. I'm pretty libertarian on the use of drugs. I mean, I wish all drugs were legal. I used to be pretty casual, just marijuana and alcohol, and I would see all these people like Secular Talk and whatnot talking about legalizing all drugs. And then I would be like, well, that's pretty extreme. But then I actually looked at the reality of it. But I'm going off topic. The point is, if Trump did cocaine, as long as he's able to function, I guess. I mean, you can run as the president while doing drugs. We have seen it before. We've all seen it before. Not going to get into specifics, but at the end of the day, Trump was sniffling. It was pretty annoying more than anything else. Now, at one point, Hillary Clinton said that she supports American democracy. Sounds like a pretty good statement, right? You support American democracy. Problem is, you shouldn't say that when you're the Democratic stolen nominee where you had to rig the entire primary against your opponent, Bernie Sanders. You had the media on your side, you had the DNC on your side, W. Washington Schultz, everybody. You had all the shills on your side, the whole Democratic Party. You rigged everything. You had all the money, and you scummed over the American people. That is not democracy. Now, one thing that I found interesting is that Trump started off the debate calm and collected. He was pretty quiet, he knew that he needed to be relaxed, but eventually he started falling apart throughout the debate. He would, slur between the sniffling and the raising his voice and all that stuff. He would usually interrupt Hillary Clinton whenever she was saying something and say, wrong, wrong. Don't do that. Wait your turn and then tell her why she's wrong. Do not interrupt. He was so calm and collected, and I thought that was amazing at the beginning of the debate. And then everything kind of just started falling apart. Hillary Clinton stayed the same throughout, but what I don't like about her is that she kept lying, and then essentially, whenever she would get called out, she would just smile, basically. Like, Trump would say something that's true about her corruption or something like that and how incompetent she is, and then she would basically just, well, that's simply not true. It is. Don't smile and just deny it. It's true. I mean, that's all there is to it. Now, what are my final thoughts on this first debate? My thoughts on the first debate on September 26th is that Trump slightly won. I only say slightly because the way he started falling apart throughout the debate, I say at least halfway through the debate, he kind of just followed apart, started, interrupting wrong and all that stuff and yelling and sniffling a lot more. So, other than that, Trump was, in my opinion, doing better, seeing as how everything that Hillary said was pretty much just a lie. Not saying Trump didn't lie, but for the most part, everything that Hillary said was usually BS or just trying to appeal to liberals and progressives. Now, I would end this video, but I guess I could talk about Lester Holt. Pretty good host. He was a pretty good guy. He was even. He was fair with everyone. Give everyone this, same amount of time. Called them out equally. Maybe he could have called out Hillary a tiny bit more, but that's very, very nitpicky. For the most part, he was fair on both candidates. Lester Holt was pretty good. That's all I got to say about him. So, good job, Lester Holt. Or am I calling him Lester Holt? I'm pretty sure it's just Lester Holt. But yeah, for the most part, Trump slightly won the first presidential debate of 2016. Those are my thoughts. Leave your comments down below if you disagree with me, and that will be the end of this video. So this has been Riley from Wookie Cookie, and I'll catch you guys next time in the next video. I'll catch you guys next time.